Hello, and welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's #1 mother-son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jake Olin, here once again with my mother, Karen Olin.
Go Celtics.
Go Celtics. Up in Maine.
Yeah,
I'm
nice
still
up
in
here.
Argentina. Got a little World Cup fever going on here.
Scary
We're recording
videos
this.
sent to your mother of people in the streets celebrating.
We're recording this on Wednesday, December 14th. Final is Sunday. Argentina, France, Morocco just ended. Very excited. Go Argentina. West Coast episode we got today. West Coast road trip for the Celtics. I believe, to my credit, I believe I said they'd go 2-2. I believe you said 3-1.
Yep.
They did go 2-2.
It's almost 1-3.
So yeah, we'll run through all the games. We have special guests, my friend, old college roommate, Matt Andujo coming in, Lakers fan. We'll do a little state of the rivalry portion at the end. But let's go in order. Let's knock off these first games, and then he will come on to round us out. First was the good one. Celtics beat the Suns 125-98, and that score is even that score does not show what actually happened that game, because we absolutely demolished the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. What do you got?
Devin Booker quote, feels like we lost 2 games. That's what he said after the game. Felt like we lost 2 games. It was that bad.
This had to be my favorite game of the season. We beat them in every facet of the game. We were unbelievable. We looked faster, more athletic. We wanted it more for everything. Shooting. There's no aspect of the game we didn't absolutely demolish them in. I had my high was the Celtics and my low was the Suns. There's nothing else to say. We just absolutely destroyed them. There was no
My high was the first half. I think it was one of the first games, or one of the first games against a good team that we started out awesome. Tatum started out awesome. Everyone was shooting well, and they just looked good from the beginning. That and you know how many times, I don't know, we're off in the first quarter or where we just looked good in the first half. And I thought Grant Williams played really well that game. I thought he shot well. I thought he took initiative early on in that game. Again, Jason Tatum obviously stole the show. He's just I thought this was a good game for him.
He shot well. Yeah. Moved the ball well.
And in the beginning, just took a couple of moves, a little bit of initiative in the beginning. My low was the starters stayed in too long. And Jaylen Brown coming into the fourth quarter.
I agree.
I think is a gut
the announcer
shot.
said something about that. It's like,
yes. Yeah. And even after Mazzulla, they questioned Mazzulla, and Mazzulla said after the game that he's still working on that. They really want to keep playing. Well, of course they do, right? Because you're going to run your stats up. So you got to stop. And they want to play. The Jays are 2 people that want to play. They just want to play. But managing that a little better.
Good in the end.
I also think that this is the point where you actually give those bench people some quality play time without a star in there, right? You get to be in there for a longer period of time. And, do you need to keep it at a blowout? I don't know. Everybody already knew it was a blowout. So I just think that last putting Jaylen Brown in was a little bit much. And it sends a message, I think, to our bench that we don't trust you as well, right? It's, we want one person in there to keep it going.
I hope we trust them. We're up 50. We're up 50 points.
I don't know then why.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
That was
nice.
An absolute drubbing.
Nice. Yes. And I think they were off. That's really not the Suns. I mean, I think we shot out.
Yeah.
But I just.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they will play better, but that's just a team that I feel like we always beat. No, I mean, it's just a team. We have their number, and I think as I've
agreed
banged on this year, and we'll get to I guess the last game, but the only way you're really going to beat the Celtics is if you have a big guy. And Ayton was terrible. I mean, I don't know what it was. I mean, he just is not skilled enough to bang in the post. And if your best players are guards, it's going to be tough sledding against the Celtics. Nothing else on that one. Absolutely.
It's funny. A year ago, we played the Suns, like December 10th or whatever. They beat us by 30. Or I think it was pretty close. Not the exact same score, but a similar score.
A year ago right now was a low point for the Celtics. About now, a year ago was a disaster time. I think we can move on from that one. It was Suns at their worst, Celtics at their best. Shocking, just absolute blowout of the Suns. Next, didn't go so great. Finals rematch at Golden State. Celtics lose 107-123. Tough one to watch.
Gut-wrenching.
Just felt like the finals all over again.
If I had to hear the announcer say the Splash Brothers one more time, it was painful. It was really painful. High for you?
My high, it's tough to pick up. Brogdon was my high for this game. He was good. I feel like he always has a good game when we have bad games. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but I thought he was the only player I thought played well.
My high, I said no high. I was disgusted. It was ugly. I just wanted to
wipe first.
Wipe the smile off the Splash Brothers face. I was disgusted. Not happy with anybody. We look like children. Children playing adults.
It just felt like the end of the finals all over again.
They looked and they were playing lights out. It's not like they were,
we were just
unbelievable. We were just bad.
All right, then what's your
low? Hold on, let me find my low. Maybe the whole game. So my low was, I think, and I've been actually pretty decent about Blake Griffin. My low was his defense. I think he's just too slow. Coming up that pick, he could not come up. How many times did you say, Blake? Like, he was, otherwise, I thought he played very well. In 20 minutes, 13 points, 4 out of 5 and 7 rebounds. So I like his role on the team, but I didn't think he moved enough on defense. Let's just say that.
Okay, I'll defend Blake Griffin here.
Go ahead.
I'll give you my low because it's not just a Blake Griffin thing. My low was high ball screen defense. The big sinks every time. It was the same thing in the finals last year. You can't do this against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. You can't do it. It was, I mean, last year in the finals, it was Al Horford. It was Tice.
Right.
Now it's Blake Griffin. They bring the high ball screen. Steph Curry comes off. The big has to step up. You can't leave the guard one-on-one with a high ball screen and Steph Curry because
you're right. Because I remember yelling,
the same thing. They run the same play over and over again. And the big doesn't. You have to just let the big roll and beat you that way and rotate over. It's because you can't leave Steph Curry at the top and Klay Thompson just over and over again. Ball screen, one dribble, slide the pick, shoot an open three. It's like mind blowing.
And I'm going to give them credit.
I agree. Blake Griffin just sinks.
Is huge. Looney is huge. Sets a great screen. He's huge. It's impossible, I think, to fight through that screen. Impossible.
Then the big has to step up.
Agreed.
And you're gonna live 100%. With them lobbing it over to Looney because, like, what's he gonna do in the paint? He's gonna get a bunch of points, but it's better to limit the guards than it is.
Or somebody slides in and you live in the corner three, whatever it is. Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. You rotate over and you're on the run. Okay. That's if you give up those and they're moving the ball like that, they hit the corner guy. Like, okay, you're just a great team. That's fair. Like the Warriors might do that and they're a good team, but like you can't just let Steph Curry shoot and Klay Thompson from the top of the key shoot over and over again. And I don't understand from last year they learned nothing.
And then once they get going, there's no, you know what I mean? They get hot, they get confident.
It's a big party. It's over.
You can't do it. And then my problem was their fast breaks up the middle. How many did they have wide open? We did not get back ever. Like time after time when we missed. Game. The defense was horrendous. So anyway, you're right. It wasn't just Blake Griffin. It's how because I remember yelling about Al. Al, what are you doing? Al, what are you doing? Why is Steph Curry by himself? What is going on? And they do. You know, Draymond and Looney set good picks up top. They really do, and they use them. Whereas if you watch our team, we do. Jason Tatum doesn't use a pick. They come up and they kind of pretend to set a screen.
That's not true. That's not true. He'll pull up for three off a pick sometimes.
We don't set that great of a screen,
Al
so we're just not used
one.
to.
We don't have a big guy. Rob Williams won't. So yeah.
But I mean, when he calls, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, they don't set great screen.
I mean,
Looney sets a great screen. He sets a great screen. So anyway, hopefully we learn. And you know what? Also, they learned. They watched. Their defense was excellent. I thought they played us like a fiddle. There were no easy shots for us. There really weren't. Or very few, I should say. I thought they played very, very well. I didn't think they missed a beat from last year, and they don't even have that great of a record.
Well, apparently they're terrible on the road. They're like 2-11 on the road.
Upside, guess who watched the Bucks crush them last night? This girl, the Splash Brothers, had no smiles.
Yeah, apparently they're just terrible on the road. That's been their thing.
And why?
A ton of them veterans. It's not like a young team.
But yeah, they were terrible last night. Crushed them.
Well, moving on from there, we got another stinker. Celtics lose to the Clippers, 93-113. I mean, it was like the same game twice, kind of. Just like no intensity.
Yeah, the only difference was that the Clippers play like us.
Agreed.
So the Celtics that day had 27 assists, and the Clippers only had 18. They're an ISO team as well. They just have some high quality.
The two guys,
ISO.
the two decent surrounding pieces.
Yeah. And my high was Malcolm Brogdon in that game too. I thought he was great.
I had him as my high 2 weeks in a row, or 2 games in a row, because there weren't a lot of other highs in the game.
6 for 12, 4 for throwers from free throws, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block. I thought he played well that game. My low was defense, and we lost it in the 2-point in the paint. They only made 10 threes. We only made 9, and the rest were all 2s. I mean, even our free throws, we had 26. They only had 21 free throws. So it was all in the paint, basically. Yeah. So, I just don't think our defense was very good.
Yeah, my low was effort. So it was similar vein. I thought we just defend. I mean, we just looked out of it.
Yeah.
In conspiracy theory, Jake would say, a little night in LA bug, West Coast road trip.
And I think Al. I think they miss Al. I think
he the weekend off.
Like Al is the mature
of course they do.
glue, the mature glue that holds it together. Because once Jason Tatum has an off night, he is like, I don't know, like we are terrible. He is terrible. I don't know. It's just very interesting to me.
Although, on that point, a high for this road trip is him not going. I love the rest. I love that he just stayed in Boston. They said, you're not going to go on the West Coast road trip.
He had COVID right in the beginning.
I don't know. That's what they say.
It said safety and protocol. And then next it was personal. Yeah.
So stay home. That's great. Big, huge thumbs up. Leave him.
Preaching.
He's great when he plays. Big thumbs up.
It shows how much we need him to be healthy in the playoffs.
Yeah, agreed.
Healthy, we need him 100%.
Put him away.
Yeah, I think he is the maturity that we were missing.
Yeah.
Because both of these games, I thought our offense, we looked like children. We did not have a set offense.
No,
we did not. It was like we were lost.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I thought both teams played really good defense on us. I thought the Clippers played very good defense on us as well. They have quick hands. I thought they did a great job.
It looks a little scary.
Yes. If they can stay healthy, which they haven't, So that's one thing. But they got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
A lot of talent.
The West is wide open. So.
All right. So the only overall before we invite Matt for the Laker talk is one, I think Al made a huge difference. I do. I think he is a solid, mature piece that we were missing. So I think for those 2 games, that would have made a big difference. And I also think that we've got to be ready for that kind of game, right? We have to be ready for a team to shut down Tatum or to work on Tatum. Because what happens when Tatum doesn't have a good night, right? We somewhat lose it against a good team. So we, they as a team have to figure out when Tatum's double teamed, and Tatum has to figure it out too, because he is a terrible passer when he is passing out last minute, when he is stuck, and he's just not a good passer. So they have to figure out, because when and if we face the Warriors, they're going to know that. Any good team is going to know that. So similar to the playoffs last year, and the Bucks, they look good. I mean, Middleton's back now, so the Bucks look good. Any team is going to, have that number. So you got to be prepared. He is going to be double teamed. That's just the way it's going to go. So that's my overall 2 cents.
All right. Before, again, one more thing before we go to Matt and we do a little state of the rivalry, Celtics Lakers edition. Let's do opponent of the week, because is your Laker guy or no? Otherwise, no, me neither.
Kawhi Leonard.
We matched again. I had Kawhi too. He was so good.
Quiet,
so efficient, effortlessly. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
His defense is huge hands. It's impossible on defense. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I think he made the difference.
So good.
If you look at poor Paul George's numbers, we're not great. I mean, his shooting, he shot a lot, but he was not, But talk about efficiency in the minutes that he played.
Oh my goodness.
He's a silent machine. 12 shots total. 29 minutes. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and
unbelievable in 25 minutes. He was a tank.
20, unbelievable.
So solid. I had the same guy.
So it was funny because I actually, I think Klay Thompson played well against us from what he did in the past. But then you look at his numbers; he shot a lot of shots. I mean, his numbers weren't efficient necessarily, and it felt like he shot a lot of shots. Kawhi was like a quiet, just
that's what he does.
Hit us from.
I'm actually wearing my Kawhi Leonard New Balance shirt. Boardman gets paid.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. So if he could stay healthy,
he was an absolute tank. Did we match last week? Is this the second week in a row we have the same opponent of the week? No, I think we've had. It was 2 weeks ago. We had Porzingis. This is our second.
And then
our second unanimous player of the week.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. He's so fun to watch. He's so fun to watch. All right.
Well, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. Maybe I'll throw an ad in here, a makeshift ad or something. But we'll be back with Matt.
Polar seltzer.
Just 1 second for you guys. All right. Before we get to the last part of the show, just want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Raising Cane's Chicken. They don't actually sponsor the show, but they will. If you're listening, Canes, please sponsor us. I've been your number one ambassador for many years now. You know this. And just throw us a bone. I don't want any money. Just a free Caniac will do. We're going to continue to give you free advertising either way. Just reach out. Love to work with you. I believe I hold the record for southernmost canes consumed. If someone can prove me wrong on this, I will retract that statement. But as far as I know, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, I've eaten the southernmost canes ever eaten. Unless someone can prove me wrong. Please throw us a sponsorship. I'd very much appreciate it.
back to the show.
All right. And we are back here for State of the Rivalry with my friend, college roommate, Matthew Andujo. What's going on, Matt?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Of course. We got a good game to talk about last night. One of the crazier ones.
Yeah.
Celtics somehow pull it out in overtime, 122-118. Yeah, so I guess I'll start with did you prepare your highs and lows, Matt?
I did.
All right, so I'll start with the Celtics. We can go to the Lakers, and then Mom, you can round out with your Celtics. We'll do a little sandwich. My high for the Celtics was Joe Mazzulla's closing adjustments. Bringing Cornette in was like great.
Yeah.
It's like I never would have done that. He's got to change the game. And I thought we always struggled to close games, and I actually thought we moved the ball decent, and we always lose these games. And I thought the lineup switch to kind of go big and do it down the stretch was huge for us. Avoid another loss. My low was Smart. He was terrible. He hit a couple big shots at the end. He was terrible most of the game. Like, okay, we get that Austin Reeves is on you, but we can't, we don't want you to ISO every single time that Austin Reeves is on you. He took a ton of terrible shots, wasted a lot of shot clock. I thought he was bad. That's what I had.
All right. So,
all right, Matt, what do you got on the Lakers side?
From a Lakers perspective, I think our high point was reversing the script and actually playing basketball in the third quarter. I think we're one of the, if not the worst third quarter team in the NBA this season. So seeing them flip the script and just keep going in the third quarter was just the hustle was there. I mean, a team like the Lakers, they're not going to compete with the team like the Celtics, a complete team. It's going to take a near perfect game, and getting that in the third quarter was somewhat encouraging. But again, the low point is the story of this season's Lakers. We see them turn a switch on and play a great stretch of basketball, like the 31-5 run. And then as easy as that came, a low run happens where they're just not focused at all. And the Celtics end the game on a 17-4 run to end it, to send it into overtime. And don't know what LeBron was doing on that switch that allowed Marcus Smart to get wide open to tie the game. But that's my low point.
I think LeBron and AD were so tired, and you could tell.
In the overtime?
Exhausted. AD was gassed. And I think the announcer said that Darvin Ham asked LeBron and AD if they want to come out, and they didn't want to, which was a huge mistake in the end, because I think they gave him enough of a cushion. They're up 13 or something at one point to sit for a couple minutes, and then they didn't, and then it went to they had nothing left. They were just exhausted.
I think that's just the story of the Lakers. It's just they have zero depth. I think
that's also true. They have no one else to come in.
I think Anthony Davis played 41 minutes before overtime, and then LeBron played 37 minutes. So that's been the story of every game for the Lakers. I mean, towards the end of the fourth quarter, LeBron settling from threes. AD is just forcing up fadeaways, not getting to the rim. That's where you see that fatigue, like you just mentioned, Jake.
Yeah, it's similar to us with Al Horford, who's thankfully sat, but he's just a guy you can't afford to sit. And as they get older, he's so crucial, but you guys just don't have the depth and the record to afford to sit your two top players. But yeah, I think that killed your chances in overtime. 100%. Instead, it was Russell Westbrook trying to lead the charge in overtime, which he was tired too and taking jump shots. And he actually played well in regulation, I thought.
That's the thing I hate. A lot of these games I've gone into overtime is just LeBron and AD are carrying that load so much. Then they just go off for, here, Russ, take the ball for overtime. And you don't want Russell Westbrook forcing up mid-range threes in a close game in overtime.
Yeah, I thought he actually played well most of the game, especially on Jaylen Brown. But yeah, I mean, jump shots late in game are not his not his strong suit. All right, Mom, what do you got on the Celtics side?
My high was Jason Tatum. I thought he set the stage early on, and we looked great. I mean, with the exception of our typical sort of losing it offensively. you were talking about third quarters, and we've had some really tough third quarters as well. But I thought he set the stage. I thought offensively, we had a great night up until the 30-something to 5 run. My low was Smart and Brogdon. Brogdon looked like an old man in that game. I thought he was moving, and he had played so well the 2 before, even though we lost. And he just couldn't shoot, couldn't move. He was really, he almost looked injured to me. And same with Smart. You're right. Smart's choices of ISO at times were just foolish. I don't understand.
To start the year, he was so good though. Like he was like a distributor, and he wasn't doing this like ISO. Like I like him posting up once in a while if he has a small guy on him.
It should be once in a while. You're right. Yes, like agreed.
And
too much.
And the Lakers did this a little, but not as much. Other teams do it more. But the ISO, the white guy, just doesn't work that well. Like anytime someone's on Austin Reeves or Sam Hauser for the Celtics has the same thing. It's like and the ball stops moving, and it like doesn't work well. And I hate when the Celtics do it. I hate when other teams do it. Actually, I like when other teams do it because Sam Hauser's actually a decent defender, and like doesn't.
I think Austin Reeves is a decent defender. He is not a bad player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't like. I don't want Marcus Smart on Austin Reeves. Like
we're seeing
really.
From the Lakers side, we're seeing a lot of similarities between, was it 2 years ago, between Alex Caruso and now Austin Reeves. You have a player that's a role player that can shoot, play defense, happens to be white as well. So right now is
with this fluffy bouncing hair. I like him. I think he's fun to watch.
The hillbilly from Arkansas, for sure, Austin Reeves.
And the first thing you say when you saw the team was like, who is that?
Yeah.
Who is that guy? Because he stands out.
And a lot of frustrations from at least Lakers Twitter is how, NBA politics play their way into every locker room, and especially with the Lakers, you're seeing players like Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn getting minutes over him. When you put Austin Reeves in the game, end of the game, he's like a plus minus 15. So he produces great basketball winning plays. And so right now it's just kind of teetering that line of when can we put him in, but not upsetting the rest of the veterans on the locker room, which, I think it has to happen sooner than later, whether this record's just going to keep going lower and lower.
And he's a good passer. I like him very much. I think he should play a lot more. He's a good player. I watched the last 2 games the Lakers played, and I like him. I think he's fantastic.
Solid.
It's crazy that you guys started Beverly and Schroeder over.
Darvin Ham. So Darvin Ham in these 3 guard lineups. I think at one point he had like 4 in, but I know for sure he had Schroeder, Russ, and Beverly in the game at one point, and everyone's just scratching their head at that point.
Yeah, and I like Schroeder too. I just think he has to find his niche and his role on the team. I don't mind him. I think he can add to the team, but you got to figure out what his role is going to be, how he fits in, and he doesn't know that yet. But
I don't think you can have Schroeder and Russ. They kind of do the same thing. They should be like your backup guard off the bench.
Yeah.
It's tough to have.
And I thought Wes did a good job too. I thought he was. I mean, Russ. Sorry, Westbrook. Sorry. I thought he did a good job as well.
Yeah, I thought he actually did pretty well.
Some of those shots, you were like, the 3-point. No, you haven't been shooting well there. What are you doing? That's your shot of choice. But
I think that he's taken very well to the bench role. Got to credit Ham for that. There was a lot of rumors last year that Frank Vogel wanted to bring him off the bench, but ultimately the upper powers of Rob Pelinka, Kurt Rambis, Linda Rambis wouldn't allow that to happen. But he's leading almost every statistical category for bench players. He's been really great off the bench, and now there's whispers of whether they should trade him or not. Now, towards the summer, it was a for sure thing he was going to be traded, but now it's like, do we keep him? He's been integral to our success, or do we move him for assets?
So I don't understand why they don't sort of have a rotation between the 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Keeping 2 people in at one time. So it should be when 2 are out, especially maybe not at the end of the game, but in the middle of the game, 1 should be sitting all the time resting, right? You should be rotating a LeBron or Westbrook, AD. That's when they get their minutes because, I'm sorry. Anthony Davis was so tired in overtime. Like, he could barely function. I don't think I've ever seen anybody that he just kept kind of poking his head and like he could not function.
And the way
they had come off
the way he plays also just takes a toll on his body. He's just
so hard.
banging in the post. Nearly every play he's taking a couple bumps. So that's just going to bring your fatigueness down all the way down, whether it's the last minutes of the fourth. So, I mean, that's just one of the struggles of the Lakers. Number one, they don't have any depth. Number two, we have no shooters.
Why does Thomas Bryant not play more though? I like him.
I think he was just coming off an injury because he was playing the last 5 games. I think he just came back because he's been putting in some really solid shit.
Yeah, he's good. I've always liked him.
Yeah.
And again, to give AD that rest. I mean, he only played 7 minutes. That seems low.
I think it's also just AD was just on. I mean, I think he missed like 8 shots or something the whole game. So just playing to his strengths, but still, I mean, end of the game, no matter how tired you are, you have to be able to hit those free throws. You got to at least split them there at the end. Tatum just took it down.
That was the dagger.
Fun game.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
it was. Yeah,
it was a fun game for us, obviously, because we won. But that was I think they can make the playoffs. I think the Lakers can make the playoffs. I really do. I think they have enough talent.
Open.
I think the West is, what was that? Sorry.
I think they just have to figure out the rotation, and they have to figure out how to give everybody a rest and how to use all the pieces. You have a lot of pieces. Like I said, I think Reeves is really good. I do. I think he could be a great part of the team.
Say a lot of pieces. They have pieces.
No, I think still, if you can figure out how to use Schroeder, I think he could be a good part to it. But it's all about the egos, and it's all about the blending of it all. But it isn't like they don't have any talent. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're a terrible team. I think it's about how you play together and how you play them is, winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
Probably not. Making the playoffs, I think they could.
I think going off Karen, just exactly. I think the West is so wide open now. You look at the standings, you're seeing teams like the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, the Suns, all topping, the standings, but none of those teams have looked like how it was last year, where there's an outright number one team. The Warriors started off slow. Everyone thinks that they're eventually going to catch that button, turn that switch on, and just be like, okay, we'll go on a winning run here, and we'll end up top in the West. So, yeah, I think the Lakers have a great shot to make the playoffs. I do think a few trades are coming. There's been a lot of chatter within Lakers Nation of December 15th, that being the day that you can officially trade players that were signed this past offseason. So you're hearing a lot of rumors around Kendrick Nunn, Patrick Beverley, of course, Russell Westbrook. So what this team, it looks like today, will look different come, I would say, February or so after the All-Star break. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the Lakers are a couple trades away from being a playoff contending team, really. It's just Rob Pelinka has to put those keys together and figure out what kind of deal he can make.
Well, that's a great transition. I sent you some questions before the podcast, some Lakers questions. And the first one is just that. What is your top realistic trade that you would like to see the Lakers make right now?
So in the offseason, we heard a lot about Buddy Hield, Miles Turner. The Lakers didn't want to give up those 2 first-rounders in 2027 and 2029. And now the Pacers are 8th in the East. They're in the play-in right now. So there's some kind of reservations on that side, whether they want to make any moves because they're in a playoff contending spot. So that trade might be dead. But Shams and Mark Stein over the past few days have come out with reports how the Lakers are targeting 3 wings. I mean, we have very little wing depth, so that's definitely a need of this team. The first name, they tried getting him when he was on the Jazz. Now he's on the Pistons, Bojan Bogdanovic. Reportedly, Mark Stein said that the Lakers have offered Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and a first for him. Doesn't seem like the Pistons are too interested in that deal. So you got to turn your eyes somewhere. And from what I'm hearing, another name to look at is Cam Reddish. He just fell out of the rotation with the Knicks. He's kind of fell out of rotation with any team he's been with, the Hawks. A lot of people always, that's the biggest question mark, I think, is Cam Reddish. Everyone says he has skill. He went to Duke, obviously, but he hasn't had that chance, I believe, to prove it on NBA level, to be some type of role player. So that's a nice wing the Lakers can go out and grab. But also, Evan Fournier is a name. A lot of Lakers fans don't like that name. There's some Lakers fans that are like, okay, we need a shooter in. He's owed almost $19 million next year. So any team trading for him is asking for a first to take on that contract for next year. So I think those are the three most realistic solutions at this point: Bogdanovich, Reddish, and Fournier. For Lakers fans, that's probably not what they want to hear. But we don't really have that many assets to move at this point.
But Bogdanovich was my top two.
Yeah,
awesome. We love the Pistons, and we love Bogdanovich here.
I love Bogdanovich.
Yeah, bro.
I think that is definitely the top option.
Cade Cunningham out.
Which I think they'd want to trade Bogdanovich now because they are in the Wembanyama sweepstakes for sure.
Oh
yeah. So if you could somehow pull that one off, that'd be huge. AD Bogdanovich pick and roll would be a nitmare.
See, so what I want to do is, as me, so Russell Westbrook has played a great season, but he's getting paid $47 million. That's such a huge cap hit for a player coming off your bench. If you can somehow move him for a wing and another guard, or a wing and a big, that would be the most ideal solution. I'm still have my fingers crossed for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Whether the Lakers want to part with those 2 first rounders, we'll see. But I think those 2 players alongside AD and LeBron, you're looking at an interesting team in the West. Contending, probably not, but winning a playoff series, that's a good. I mean, with LeBron and AD, you always have a chance.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Buddy Hield, obviously, again, shooting you guys needed. Miles Turner is not as good a fit, I don't think. I don't think I would give up both picks for, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, no one really likes. I mean, the rumblings around the NBA is nobody really likes to work with Rob Pelinka. So that's where the fleecing of the picks come from. I mean, you look at a team like the Celtics, no disrespect to my boy Malik Fitz, but they treated Malik Fitz, Naismith, and a couple second rounders for Malcolm Brogdon. And for the Lakers to be able to take on Buddy Hield, who's owed $20 million next year, and Miles Turner, who's on expiring, and we have to give up 2 first rounders, it's just kind of the writing's on the wall with that.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Darvin Ham performance through 20 something games, 1 through 10. What do you got?
So I've been teetering between a 6 and a 7. Number one, he was just given a terrible roster to start. I mean, Pat Riley in his prime isn't doing anything with this roster. Phil Jackson isn't helping this roster. Popovich isn't helping these rosters. So this roster, I mean, he was just given a bad hand to deal with. But also, I think he has to be given his props for navigating the whole Russ situation. We all saw Russ last year wasn't effective next to LeBron and AD. Moves him to the bench, which a lot of people thought would, piss off Russ initially, which there's a good chance it probably did, but at least from the Lakers side, he's taking it in stride. He's being a distributor. He's helping unleash AD on those pick and rolls. We saw more pick and rolls or lobs this year with Russ and AD than we did see, I would say 2 years ago with Schroeder and AD. So he's definitely helped him integrate into the offense, but also he's also shown many, first year coach mishaps. Like last night, he said he wished he called more timeouts during that 4th quarter run to, help the guys get a break. Then also with these rotations I mentioned earlier, like the 3 guard lineups, you have Tatum, Brown, Smart, and you're rolling out Schroeder, Beverly, and another guard. I mean, that's not going to get it done. So I would say a 6.5 is the initial grade for Darvin Ham. I think he's a good coach. He's definitely a defensive-minded coach who has this team bought in, but with having buy-in, you have no talent, then you can only get so far.
Fair enough. All right. Percent chance that Russell Westbrook is on the Lakers at the start of the 2023-2024 season.
I'll say 25%.
Okay.
He's taking that bench role. Yeah, he's taking that bench role in stride. I mean, it could be 0. I mean, but the thing is, my thing between the 25% is I think Russ now acknowledges that this is his role going forward in the NBA. So if he would love to make it work in LA, I think on a more friendly contract, I think the Lakers would bring him back, but I mean, it's real close to zero, anywhere between that 0-25. But if he gets traded this year, then there's probably a 0% chance he's
if he's traded, I think he's not coming back. But I think yeah, his increase in play, I think, does beg the question. I mean, he's an LA guy. If he's willing to take, $7 million next year or something.
He's getting paid 47 this year, man.
Well, no one's paying him anywhere near that.
He's been getting paid a max deal playing like terrible the last 2 years. So I mean, I don't know. I think Russ is that type of player that has too much pride as well, that will try to go somewhere in the East, like just try to show out.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't know who signs him. Like this, I don't know.
The Pacers.
I don't know how many options he'll have. Pacers.
He could run it back with OKC. Run it back
there now. Lead
Paolo,
the young guys. Sure,
Paolo and not Paolo, Chet and Russell. That's the duo.
Stunt Giddy's development to get Russ back. All right, and the last one. Will LeBron play for another team other than the Lakers before he calls it quits?
Oh,
is he a Laker for life?
Nah, I think
100%.
I think he's sticking out this 2-year extension he just signed over the offseason, and then I think he's going anywhere where Bronny's going for that.
You think that's still the plan? He's gonna,
like, whether people think Bronny is good or not to get drafted, that's not the point. I mean, he's gonna get a shot because he's LeBron's kid. So some team will slap him with the second rounder. I mean, I've seen Bronny play a good amount the last 3 years. I don't think he's a lottery pick. Every time I watch him, it doesn't scream NBA player, but when you see players like Zaire Way, LiAngelo Ball get opportunities, I mean, Bronny will get that chance too.
Of course, who's not going to pick him up and take and add to the crowd, right? Just even admission coming in, the potential of LeBron James being in your audience watching him, I think is a selling point. I agree with you. I think somebody's going to take him.
My next question would be, is there any chance that team is the Lakers?
Well,
how do you feel about Bronny being a Laker? If he's not, because again, if he's not going to be a lottery pick, do the Lakers just use that second and get him to keep LeBron there? Or, I mean,
honestly, I wouldn't rule it out. If Bronny, because we have our first rounders for what, 2027 and 2029. So Bronny's a senior this year. So he'll be eligible for what, the 2024.
Yes, yeah.
So I think the Pelicans or some team owns that pick, but I don't know, man. I just see a team like end of the first round just grabbing him, just like, we'll just get him and Bronny. I don't even think it's to us. Like the Spurs.
Interesting. The Spurs. Yeah, it'll be interesting because that's the only, if he still wants to do the Bronny thing, because the other I don't know. It's just interesting because if he's just not an NBA player, like, it'd be so foolish for him to come out. He could go to 4 years to Ohio State or wherever and be a decent player for a college team. Like, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds.
I do wonder where he's about to go to school, man. I don't think he's going to Ohio State.
No, I don't know. I don't follow Bronny's recruitment very, very closely. I have no idea.
So for me, though, I have a question for you guys.
All right. So,
is this year championship or bust? Obviously.
I don't think it's bust. I think we have bust. 2 years of the. Yeah, I think we have 2 years of the same pieces. So I think we have 2 years to do it. Because I think everyone will stay. Given the option, I don't think anybody wants to go at this point. At least right now, I think it's a good. So I think we have 2 years to do it. Do we do it this year? Well, I've always said yes, but that's my personality. But I'll tell you, after watching the last 2 games, 3, including last night's fiasco, I don't know. Like, mentally, I don't know if maturity is there yet. We may need 1 more year before, maturity. We are lacking maturity. I still think at this point we're lacking maturity.
The Boston Celtics winning banner 18 would be my personal hell. So I hope everything. I definitely okay. So this is my thing. I have the Celtics as the favorites coming out the East, unless Giannis can give us some type of all-time performance. But we saw that last year. I mean, the Celtics just game plan around Giannis.
They didn't have Middleton last year. That's huge.
That is true.
7 without Middleton.
And
now we've gotten
back
better
100%.
too. But,
that's our hope.
That's going to be a
not
war.
Back 100%. Yeah, we just come back. So
yeah, he always kills us too.
They crushed the Warriors last night. The Bucks crushed the Warriors. Like, wiped the Splash Brothers smile. You missed it. I was telling Jake, I watched it. I've never been so happy. That was a painful game for me. The Warriors Celtics the other night. Painful. But they crushed them like crazy. It was like a completely different team.
I tell you what, if the Celtics and Warriors match up again, that series is going 5. I'm not buyers of the Warriors this year. I just think there's just too many holes this year with them.
Agreed. I don't think it'll be the Warriors. I think the Bucks are my biggest concern. No one in the West scares me that much. We just absolutely obliterated the Suns the other night. There's no one else that's really that strong. Clippers. I mean, the Clippers. If Kawhi played like he did against us, we do opponent of the week every week. Kawhi was both of our opponents of the week. He was unbelievable against the Celtics.
He's like a silent machine.
Oh my goodness, he was so good. That scares me a little, but the Bucks scare me the most still.
Yeah,
I think that's everyone's big what if team in the West is the Clippers, man, because Kawhi will play like 2 games and then go back on to be injured for like 2 more weeks.
It's so weird.
But they've got a lot of pieces. They could be very good. A lot of pieces.
But you have to play enough regular season games that you have like a team chemistry. Like you can't play like 30 games.
And that's why I still think the Lakers have a lot, like you were saying about the trade coming up, and part of it is chemistry and figuring out each person's role. And I do think by getting people in February, similar to us getting Derek White last year, he's a much better fit this year than he was in February, when we got him last year. I think knowing your roles and that chemistry is such a big thing, no matter who you get. So it'll be interesting to see if they do trade and who they trade and how that chemistry goes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the standings right now for the East. So you got Celtics, Bucks, Cavs, Nets, Sixers, Knicks, Hawks, and Pacers. I mean, out of that 8, I mean, I only see the Bucks really giving the Celtics a matchup. I mean, everyone wants to say the Sixers, but the Sixers are just
Cavs.
Sixers are toast. Cavs are really good. We lost them twice in overtime. Yeah. They're good.
They're a good team, man.
They're just too young. I think they're too young, and the playoff experience is going to matter when it comes to
I'm hoping someone else takes them out before they need us.
Yeah, I don't want to play them either.
I don't either. I'm like, they just, man, they are good. I think they're very
who's
good.
4 right now?
The Nets. The Nets are heating up, but also
I don't want to play them either.
I think a Nets team with no news, no headlines is a good team. And I think they're finally starting to get past all the headlines. And they're just starting
Kyrie's already planning his next one. He can't stop doing it. It's been
I think with them, they have the same problem as the Lakers. It's like
I think they're very much like the Lakers.
No depth. Yeah, a lot like the Lakers. Except the Lakers, like I think AD, LeBron, and Russ have actually kind of figured out how to play together.
Getting there.
Kyrie and Durant just still don't get it. Like
they don't play together.
ISO players. Yeah.
Well, they tried to get in your boy, man. They tried to get an actual coach, and that didn't work out because it happened like during the whole Kyrie.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Because if that hadn't happened, he'd be there.
100%. That Kyrie thing wasn't happening. He would be the coach.
I needed a picture of Ime disgusted on the sidelines with Ben Simmons not playing in his goofy sunglasses or something. Clown show over there.
Bright outfit on. But also like up on something. So he was even higher than everybody else. I don't know if it was a cushion for his back or whatever, but he had his bright outfit sitting higher than everybody else. So it was like a beacon.
he talks about like how he has like anxiety, and then he's like you can't miss him. Like he's like,
how do you have
completely
out
there. Like you can't. He's the one guy that like your eye attracts on the bench. Is him.
I just want to blend. No, too funny.
So do you guys
see?
Do you guys see the Celtics making any more moves this season? Is this the roster?
Well, I mean, I think we got good chances. I mean, the only thing that I mean, we could use another big. Jakob Poeltl was a light rumor earlier I saw, but we don't need to. I mean, that's the only other move I'd make.
I think that if they could do something with Pritchard and somebody and get a big, they might consider that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. As much as I wouldn't want them to see Pritchard. As much as I love him. Pritchard can play for another team, like a lot of NBA teams. He's really good.
Yeah. So he'd be a good.
And he just doesn't. We just have too many guards now just to get the time. Yeah. Like I mean, I think Pritchard and a pick. I think the Spurs would take that for Poeltl. I mean, that's a player and a pick for sure. Yeah.
I could see. I mean, potentially, I could maybe see that happen.
Rob Williams was the only one out for you guys yesterday, right? Or was there another player?
Al Horford.
No. Horford didn't play. Yeah, he hasn't been.
And he's like we were talking earlier about the other. He is our maturity. He is really our settler. Yeah. He is our. So we really have missed him on this road trip. Very much.
It is insane how he literally came back to you guys and then was just putting up like 20-point performances in the finals. It was absurd.
Yeah, I mean, he's been even better this year. Like he's been really
good.
Everyone
was saying when he sat on the bench that year, resting up. That's part of his longevity is that he stayed in shape and he was ready, and now we got him all fresh and
yeah.
But he was a great comeback. Like that, I think
he's been huge.
Turned a corner. Yeah.
For sure.
All right, last segment up next. I got Lakers and Celtics pipeline. So Lakers, you got Saturday versus the Nuggets, Sunday versus the Wizards, and Monday at the Suns. A triple header for the Lakers, 3 days in a row. Oof, two tough teams too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for sure.
The Wizards are somehow winning games, which I don't understand. I mean, we're Porzingis fans over here, but that team stinks.
That was they were the slowest. I mean, we crushed them. Slowest, most boring games I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Like how are they winning?
You thought the Russell Westbrook contract is bad. The Bradley Beal contract has to be the worst, one of the worst in NBA history. $50 million a year. It's the first year. They stink.
Dude, I don't know why he signed that contract. Like,
I know why he did.
I get the money, but you're just pretty much signing away. Like, I don't want to win anymore. And so, like, I'm tired of all the Bradley Beal is stuck in Washington. He has no help. Get him out of there.
Yeah.
You just resigned.
You can kind of see it in his attitude. I'm telling you, when we played him, his enthusiasm, he had no life. Like it was just weird.
Yeah.
He was weird. It was like effort level was lower.
We've whacked them twice.
Because we've played them before when it has been a game, and he was dynamic. He was unbelievable. I think it was the beginning of last year, and he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. And this is like a different person. It's a very
We just played the Wizards, I want to say like a week and a half ago. So we're getting our 2 games against them in the couple week span for the year. So and we beat them in Washington. So I would assume we continue that against them. Against the Nuggets, I mean, coming off a game like this, I can see them being kind of slow starting off. AD is going to have to play another high usage game against Jokic. And then Monday against the Suns. Yeah, Monday against the Suns is just going to be a bloodbath, man. They hate playing us, and they're probably going to beat us by like 15 plus.
I've not back to back too.
Yeah.
Oof. You have to travel to, that's brutal scheduling. Third game in a row, you have to travel to Phoenix. That's crazy.
3, that's not good.
Wow. Yeah, they're only off days that Saturday. Coming off from high altitude Colorado.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Celtics have it much easier. we come back home after a 6-game road trip, and we have the Magic Friday, the Magic Sunday, and the Pacers Wednesday. Because the Pacers have actually played well.
Yes, they have.
U of A guy, Mathurin's been awesome. But yeah, the Magic are no good. A lot of young upside there, but those should be some wins at home.
I wonder when more teams will start becoming more apparent in their tanking. Because Adam Silver sent out a memo to the year or to the season or to like all the teams, I want to say a month ago, saying like pretty much about the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes and tanking, reinforcing, do not be, forcefully, throwing these games, but
faking injuries.
Yeah, when you have a player like that, I mean, I would say not April, like January, February is when we'll see teams, really start tanking it down, trading.
Yeah. I mean, the Pistons shutting down Cade is the first sign. They were like, well, might as well. I think they'll get rid of Bogdanovich, whether that's to you guys or somebody else. The Hornets. Well,
the worst thing that can happen is, the Pelicans own the Lakers pick this year. And if the Lakers don't make the playoffs, that draft pick can turn into Victor Wembanyama with.
You guys should be safe of that at this point. You guys look good enough that it shouldn't get that. It looked like for a while it did look that way.
Yeah, I mean, those bottom teams in the East, man, they're just really, really, really bad.
Yeah, we got a couple. We're big Pistons fans over here, but they're not very good.
Yeah, I feel bad for them.
We call them the bad boys. They're tough. They're tough, but they've lost a lot of games this year.
Yeah,
and now with no Cunningham, they're out. I mean, they're not.
Yeah, I mean,
in the beginning they lost a lot of close ones, though. It's a little too bad for them, but I thought they had
I like the core. I like the core that they're building over there. What, Jaden Ivey?
Yeah, they're tough. Yeah. They're tough. They got like Marvin Bagley for like nothing.
Oh yeah, well,
he'll be solid for them.
Tell his brother to start behaving correctly. Stop tweeting.
Yeah, he's never playing for ASU again. But
dude,
that's a different podcast. All right, I think that's all we got. That has been your state of the rivalry.
Say, 1 week from this Friday, we play the Bucks. That's a big
Christmas.
Oh no, we don't. Never mind. Christmas.
No, it's Christmas. Sorry. Yeah, it's a little over that. Yeah,
you're right.
That's gonna be a big boy game.
That's gonna be a good game.
Christmas.
Yes, that's gonna be a big one.
The Bucks.
Yep.
Circle.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Well, Jay, thanks for having me on. Love talking Lakers with you guys. Let's do this.
We got another. Yeah, we got another one in Boston. I can bring you on for that. First Lakers Celtics matchup of the Shamrock Talk era. Well,
good to see you.
Yeah, great.
What's your Twitter handle now? Like your underscore Matthew Andujo.
Yeah, underscore Matthew Andujo if you want to tag me.
Well, go follow Matt if you're listening. You can follow us at Shamrock Talk Pod on Twitter, at Shamrock Talk on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcast. We are worldwide. Follow me at Mr. Caniac. We will get Canes to sponsor the show. I might do a Canes ad when we take the break. I'll just do one myself and we'll put it in right before we get Matt. Right before we put Matt in, I'll just put an ad I record myself. That might happen.
The unofficial sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, we have Gary's Old Town Tavern, Bridgeton, Maine, unofficial sponsor. Teva Footwear, unofficial sponsor. All my favorite companies.
Polar Seltzer.
Polar Seltzer. Brought to you by Polar Seltzer. Well, this has been Shamrock Talk. We will see you next week. Go Celtics.
Go Celtics and Lakers.
Woo!
No, don't go Lakers. Why would you say that?
Well, because there's really no competition. No, sorry, Matt.
Oh man,
you're gold for that.
Yeah, it took us right till the end for the
Man.
For the fighting to come
Sorry,
out.
Matt.
Right to the end.
Really.
Thought we made it out without any
Good to see you.
fighting.
Yeah. See you guys.